Hello.
They won't understand. I'm here, just one second. Yeah, so you can hit the
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Very good. I'm glad you're all good. I am going to basically start the presentation shortly. So Ketan, Seema, and Shiva, I'm gonna unmute you, and then when it's time, actually I'm gonna mute everyone, and when it's time, I'm gonna promote you as presenters. Sounds good?
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Are we going to be on screen the whole time, or can
No, I'm gonna remove you right now.
Okay, great, awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.
Thanks. Ari, I'm gonna also remove you for now.
Okay.
Add you back soon.
I'm just gonna watch this.
I'm gonna start the Facebook Live now, so if you could
Yeah, I know.
There will be update. I don't know. There's. I'm going live now. We'll just wait another couple of minutes to let people join. We'll just wait one more minute and start. All right, let's kick this off today. Thank you everyone for joining Republic's digital demo series, where founders pitch their business ideas to earn your hearts, minds, and money. We are so excited to have you on with us. So first off, some technical highlights. All participants are on muted mode. If you would like to make a comment or ask a question, please use the chat section on the Zoom prompt window. A quick introduction of the Republic team. I am Sandra Ford, and I work in the marketing and business development team here at Republic. And with me in the room, Max Rich, who is the legal counsel here at Republic. We work with startups as well as investors, so if you have any questions regarding the process at Republic, please reach out to us. Our agenda today as follows. After this quick introduction, I'm going to give the word to our 9 presenters and let them tell you about their deal pitch as well as their companies. If you are interested in learning more about their companies or their deal, please visit the Republic site, their respective deal pages. So in terms of the order today, we are going to start the day with Ellison Eyewear presenting, followed by mIQroTech, Green Piñata, HireClub, Pearachute, RMR Labs, FreshMynd, Coding Autism, and SilkRoll. As I have mentioned before, if you have any questions, please indicate that in the chat button of your screen in Zoom. And if for any reason we don't get to your questions, please post your respective questions in the discussion board of each of the deal pages. So first off, just a few thoughts on Republic. We are an equity crowdfunding marketplace that connects investors with promising startups. On our platform, all retail investors, despite whether they are accredited or not, who is looking to invest in private companies, are able to invest in the deal on the deals on our page. To find out more, please check our website or reach out to Max or myself. I also would like to highlight our partnership with Sony Television for Meet the Drapers show, which is similar to Shark Tank, where company is able to pitch to the Draper family, including Tim Draper, and not only the sharks, but you can also invest in their companies on our site. Addition to that, we are also excited to introduce Republic Crypto, which is an offering that we launched recently with partnership with CoinList. Here, unaccredited investors can participate earliest stage blockchain companies to buy tokens ahead of ICOs or other later stages. Sorry. If you would like to learn more about our crypto offering, please go to our site. So now I would like to kick off the presentation by handing the word to the CEO of Ellison Eyewear. Just give us 1 minute. Ari, hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, How are you?
Good. I'm glad you can join. So please share your screen with us.
All right, let's see, share screen.
And when I say share his screen, share his presentation to walk you through his pitch deck. Thank you. All right.
All right, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, and it looks good. Thank you.
Okay, 1 moment here. Let me just do this. Let's see, where's everybody at? Sandra, can you still see me?
I sure can.
Okay, let's see. Can you see my face or can you see? Okay.
I can, yeah, I can not only see your presentation.
Okay, great. All right, so should I kick it off?
Yeah, go ahead. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present to you today. We're extremely excited. Bear with me as I go through the presentation, coming down from a little cold, but I'm going to do my best to bring the excitement to you guys and share the excitement as well. Where we want to start off is we want to talk about, well, let me give a quick little introduction to myself. My name is Aristotle Loomis, the founder and CEO of Ellison Eyewear. And we'll start off with the monopolization. The current landscape as it stands today is that it's a $112 billion eyewear industry, and that's expected to grow to $140 billion by year 2020. And it's headed by two giant corporations, Luxottica and Safilo, who currently own the rights and licensing to some of the largest brand names today: Oakley, Chanel, Prada, Gucci, etc. And the issue of these monopolizations is there's four main barriers that are presented to new companies like Ellison penetrating the space. And also conducts into the overinflation of the pricing and the use of lower quality materials. And overall, most of these costs are a result of outdated brick and mortar practices. Now, what do? Ellison is a luxury brand that practices multi-level social and environmental responsibility. Our unique value proposition is built on the insight of a returning revenue model that is changing how people purchase eyewear. We encourage people to effectively get lost, live and travel, and in the process inevitably lose their glasses. Our membership is a CRM approach that allows people access to the latest pairs at a reduced cost, while keeping company margins intact. This approach not only drives longer loyalty among people considering higher priced or alternative eyewear companies. Now, let's talk about quality. This is something that we really pride ourselves on, and these are little old pictures of our quality. There's gonna be more on our Republic page, but we are setting ourselves apart from the rest of the pack by established brands, by putting quality in the forefront of what we do. And by doing so, we have created a premium brand that can rival established brands in quality and price. Our designs are timeless and our quality is principled to perfection. Ultimately, we believe what better people to make sunglasses than those who understand the sun the most, the Greeks. This all came about when I first went to Greece in 2008. Every pair of our Ellison sunglasses, optical and blue tech glasses, are handcrafted in a family-owned workshop in Greece. We are the only company in the world to do so. We are using the highest quality materials imported from Italy, Italian Mazzucchelli. Our metals and glass are also imported from Italy as well. Every pair is made using the highest quality. And we also go through a 50-step quality assurance process, which is 2 times more than the industry standard. Ensuring every pair is built to perfection before it leaves our artisan hands and arrives in yours. In addition, which is not displayed here, is our blue tech glasses, which is what we actually launched this year. We produce a special blue tech lens coating that makes our Ellison blue tech lens one of a kind. Our blue tech glasses protect 99.9% of the most dangerous UV blue that you experience daily as a result of looking at all types of digital devices. Now, this is a quick designer quality comparison, and as if you can see from the far left, we kind of categorize it between economical, which is going to be your Nordstrom Racks or gas stations, top shops, typically between the price points of 0 to 50. Then there's going to be the luxury competitor, which is a little bit of that 180 and plus. And as you can see, where we fall into this comparison is with the Club Ellison member, you could get all these different attributes at a competitive price. Now, while we believe it's important to do good, we also look good. We also believe it's important to do good. We believe that companies have a bigger purpose. Our mission is to make the best glasses and do good in this world. Through our close relationships with our customers, we are able to empower them to engage in social outreach and community development programs. We provide a tangible way for our community to be the change they want to see in the world. We have been on a quest for the last 3 years, providing eyesight to those in need and building homes that create safe places for those who need it. Every year, our team sponsors multiple impact travel excursions with local partners dedicated to closing the gap on social issues and those who want to help them. We also allow our community to truly involve themselves firsthand in the immersive philanthropic experience alongside like-minded journeyers while exploring some of the most beautiful corners on earth. To date, our community has provided over 3,500 people their eyesight back, built 40 homes in Nicaragua and Latin America for families living in slum conditions. Well, just this past year, in the face of the Syrian refugee crisis, we packed our bags and headed to Greece, where we built the first of many Ellison marketplaces to aid the Syrian refugee crisis. Now, for the fun stuff. Our disruptive value proposition. Our members, our community, are our customers. Other brands take advantage of the nature of the game that sunglasses get lost, broken, or stolen all the time. In fact, other brands bet on it to make a short-sighted profits. Ellison turns the tides and converts customers into loyal community members with the creation of Club Ellison membership. We focus on long-term and putting our customers first. When we put the customer first, we break through the culture of their go-to versus other brands. A Club Ellison membership is essentially insurance for Ellison frames. It targets 3 unaddressed pain points experienced by tens of millions of customers of high-end frames. The fact that you break it, you lose it, or someone steals it. Should something happen to your Club Ellison members' glasses, they have access to our entire collection at exclusive membership pricing, which is 50% off retail. Members also become a part of a community that acknowledges and rewards living experiences instead of punishing you for it. Since the launch of our Club Ellison in June 2016, we have organically acquired over 6,500 members, with 20% of those members taking advantage of their Club Ellison perks. And there's going to be a couple of typos in terms of the metrics. As you can see, 4,518. That's actually 6,020%. Now, over thousands and thousands of samples, we were able to determine the purchasing behavior of the market. And this is what we found. We noticed that most customers are purchasing products in the 100 to 180 realm. And this could be your Oakleys or Ray-Bans, for example. And what happens is you guys go on an adventure, you go on a honeymoon, you go to a festival, or maybe you just go to a tailgate and someone loses, breaks, or someone steals those. So after that, experience, which is negative, of losing those glasses that you paid so much for, people are reluctant to go invest in another high quality product at a high price point. So they usually go to the gas station or they go to the Nordstrom Racks of the world and get something at lower quality and a lower price. Again, those same 3 pain points addressed. And then, what they recognize is when they're wearing these glasses is that, while it met their price point, they didn't really meet the quality that they want. So we see, from example, like a Ray-Ban to a gas station pair of sunglasses, they're sick of the quality. So maybe they saw Beyonce wearing a Tom Ford glasses in a music video, so they get 320. They lose those, and then they definitely go back to something more affordable. But with Club Ellison, we solve this by addressing and keeping things consistent. You buy us once, you get the membership, and then not only are you getting a price point that makes sense, but you're getting all the quality features that you're seeking in all your eyewear products. Now, Ellison connects customers through the most trusted form of advertising, word of mouth. The crowded eyewear space is currently focused on outdated traditional retail versus cost suppression and customer experience CRM-based model. Our deeply embedded CRM has allowed us one-on-one customer feedback from thousands of clients. This gives us real-time design and deployment insights that is typically not available to scale or without using a third party. We can stay informed and responsive to current and quickly changing customer needs and trends thanks to our CRM model. Ellison's marketing tech takes an aggressive approach in how we communicate to our customer and how we differentiate from our customers. This approach will communicate the tangible value of the brand and the deeper emotional connection that the current competitor brands are now leaning into. Now, we're making some noise. Our story and message is continually being picked up by news outlets, fashion blogs, business blogs, and TV has garnered notable features in PR across top publications and media outlets for a novel approach to addressing global problems and our dedication to craftsmanship. Ellison glasses have been integrated in pop culture with the support of celebrities. We've had notable features on some of the most recognized faces in the industry. Mario Lopez, The Fray, Kelly Clarkson, Mark Malkin, Carolina, Kendall Jenner, Fox's breakout Empire for our second season partnership with Chicago's Empire, and then also Chicago PD, Chicago MD, and Chicago Fire. Our current efforts. Wholesale and pop-up direct are our current main revenue generating channels given their higher upfront conversion rates and the branding opportunities available through additional exposure. Effectively, when we get a new customer, we get a new brand rep. When we get a new retailer, we get a new brand ambassador. Our growth strategy with wholesale and pop-up process streamlined, this sales strategy is ready for growth and only requires the numbers in order to advance our scaling efforts. Teams will be hired to push those efforts with monthly goals aligned for brick and mortar fronts. This channel, main purpose for brand development and testing to continue building the Ellison brand and image. As you can see, these are, as what we've noticed today, or up until this point, is our customer base being categorized in 3 different parts. You could see here, which is the 20 to 32, the 18 to 30, and 28 to 38. But the metric to really understand is we have a very high lifetime value. What we're understanding is we're seeing our customers come back at least 3.5 times a year for a 3-year test trial. And what we're seeing is the blended lifetime value of each one of our customers is $1,100. Here's geographically where we're seeing majority of our sales coming from. We do have international, Canada, and some parts of Europe, but majority of it is coming in the US, and this is how it breaks down. Now, let's talk a little bit about the numbers. As you can see, these are categorized in 3 different channels. We have a wholesale, which is gonna be our far left. We're gonna see our pop-up and corporate, which is gonna be the middle, and then we're gonna see the online sales on the far right side. As you can see, it's about a third, a third, a third in each one of these categories. But as we go into the following graphs, you'll see that we've seen major growth in the 2 far right ones. Sales to date is approximately almost at $500,000. So Ellison makes a profit with our 4-point sales strategy. Wholesale and pop-up direct are our current main revenue generating channels, and given the higher upfront conversion rates and the branding opportunities available through that exposure. In 2017, we've seen explosive growth. In addition to our expansion in over 65 brick and mortar stores globally, our biggest news is becoming the exclusive eyewear brand for all Marcus & Moniz fashion group stores, and the ventures don't stop there. We just had our second cross-country trip where we met with larger corporate clients, Moby, Google, Coyote Logistics, Salesforce, Facebook, and had one of our biggest sales month to date, reaching nearly $100,000 in sales. Wholesale and pop-up are our current main revenue channels, but our focus is heavily in the online opportunity. And as you can see from the launch or the closing of our last Republic campaign, we had about 4,500 members. We closed the campaign and we have increased almost 50% of our Club Ellison members. And then that is obviously has contributed to the explosive growth. Now, if we talk about the sales channel, going back to the last slide, we're really focusing on the 2 areas that are making us the most money. Now, we do understand and appreciate the value that comes from traditional wholesale. That is not where our main focus is. So we are focusing on the places that are making us money, and that also is allowing us to scale the opportunity. So if you could see from the middle and far right, we're seeing a 4.5% markup on our on margin for our corporate and direct, and the online is where we're seeing significantly the most, which is why we're significantly investing in that area. Now, as a result to the projections, according to our current growth rate, we've projected conservative projections that can align with that growth rate. I apologize if this is a little messy. It's I guess it's not converting well. But our 5 to 10 year business plan is centered around new efficiencies within the Ellison consumer purchase funnel. With the wholesale and pop-up process streamlined, this sales channel is ready for growth and only requires a capital investment in order to advance our scaling efforts. We're focused on investing in customer experiences across digital and offline sales touchpoints. This investment will help us become faster and overall cut costs related to our product development without lowering the quality. Here's just a little bit more elaboration on how we plan to spend that. Right now, we have a current round open for $1 million. We've already seeked private and independent angels, committed $520,000 of that. Right now, we've committed $50,000 on Republic with a maximum allowance of $351,000 more. This is an opportunity for not only the VCs and the angels to get involved, but also the people to help us get where we are today. And this is kind of a breakout of how we plan on spending those funds. Now, a little bit about the team. Ellison was started by me, who I set out in my home country of Greece to build a sunglass company that creates the highest quality sunglasses in the market with the best craftsmanship and unmatched materials. We brought together the people to get us to where we need to be. Our team is made up of proven investors who have invested in the vision and the market opportunity. We partnered with a strategic group of proven investors like John Rowe, an award-winning entrepreneur and innovator in the technology and lifestyle space, with his latest venture, HireClub, being fully acquired by Salesforce in 2015. Ravi Patel, also my co-founder, another key investor, is a principal of Built by Iowa Ventures and president of Hawkeye Hotel Group, one of the fastest growing privately owned hotel companies in the country. Greg Lechner, industry giant in the eyewear space, former vice president of Luxottica, Essilor, and LensCrafters, will be joining the executive team to build Ellison into a leader of the category. He just actually joined the team. He just came out from a sale from another eyewear startup that ended up selling in the tens of millions of dollars. And last but not least, we have Brian Kyle, who is a former chairman and founder of Potbelly Sandwich Works. If you're international, you might not know what that is. If you're from the US, it would be compared to like a Jimmy John's, huge active investor in the Midwest. And he just recently came on the team about 2 months ago. Now, effectively, why crowdfunding? Since the inception of Ellison has been built by our loyal customers, we want to further strengthen that relationship. Equity crowdfunding is more personal than selling shares in the open market, allowing investors a stronger level of buy-in with the company. When you invest in Ellison, you're investing in a company that actively seeks to improve the quality of life for communities around the globe. We share this opportunity with our investors to get them involved in a social good, whether it's providing eyesight to somebody in need or building homes for the refugee crisis in Greece. We are here to do good while having some fun in the process. Now, these are some of our top 3 frequently asked questions.
Hey Ari, it's
Yep.
Sandra from Republic. Thank you so much for such a great overview of your business and deal. Let's just pick one question to go over, and also you have received a question regarding the profit. And the question is, are you going to be on the Marcus Lemonis' show? And if so, can you say it yet?
So as of right now, if anybody's familiar with the Marcus Lemonis show, it typically goes into companies that are, more mom and pop shops that are struggling. What's unique about us is that we actually, they came to us, they wanted to buy our product. So we put it in 1 store, sold out. They put it into 2 stores, sold out. So now we have an exclusive partnership in all 20 of their stores. That conversation then has elevated and evolved to being on the show. I can't tell you whether or not we are going to be on the show for sure, but we can't tell you when that's going to be. But we are going to be on the show as well.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. So just given the time constraints, let's pick one question or actually go to your last page and tell more about where people can find out more about your deal.
Yeah, so here's some of the investment considerations. We have that, and also the frequently asked questions could be found on Republic. But if you want to be involved in this, you just go to republic.co/Ellison, or you could contact me at Aristotle@wearellison.com. I'm sorry, I misspelled my name. It's Aristotle. But yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right. And
that was a marathon run, a sprint. Thank you for everybody.
Yes, for sure, for sure.
Should I discontinue sharing?
Yes, if you would. Thank you very much. So next up, we are going to have Mead Lewis from mIQroTech present. Mead, let us know when you're ready. In the meantime, mIQroTech is where Internet of Things and artificial intelligence meet pipelines. Very exciting. Just give me one quick second. Hold on me just one quick moment more. Okay, here. Okay, Mead. Can you talk now? Let's see if we can hear you. Okay.
I just said unmuted, so I think that we're live.
Awesome.
Let me go ahead and go over to my slideshow.
Wonderful. Great, we can see your screen.
Wunderbar. All right, so quickly, my name is Mead. I'm the founder and CEO here at mIQroTech. And really what we're doing is we're merging IoT, artificial intelligence, and pipelines. And the technology involved really excites me. So thank you for the opportunity to kind of go over this excitement. So before we begin, let's define a few concepts here. So first of all, Internet of Things. It's one of those things that you hear a lot about in technology circles and the like. So what it is the interconnection between the internet and computational devices that are embedded in everyday technology. However, we're getting rid of this everyday objects and throwing in pipelines. So we're embedding these devices into pipelines. And artificial intelligence is the development of computational systems to perform tasks that would normally require human intelligence. So we're doing this through what are called neural networks. So the mission is to be proactive rather than reactive when it comes to pipeline leaks. And that brings us to our problem. The average pipeline company hosts 93 leaks, spending over $200,000 per leak, and that's every year. So this is more than an $18 million problem for every company. And this leads to over $30 billion of losses industry-wide. But the real problem is the environment. The environment is the victim. So to summarize, leaks equals money, and the environment is the victim. So this brings us to our solution set. So our solution set is actually 3 components. We have an all-in-one device, that's the IoT device. We then transmit the data that collects wirelessly. And so we do that through a 4G LTE network. And then we analyze that data through artificial intelligence and neural networks to see what humans can't out of the data. So our Internet of Things device actually does what's called a 6-factor analysis, or that's what we're terming it. So what we're doing is we're analyzing the most important variables to pipeline longevity. That includes density of the components running through it, the pressure of the fluid running through it, vibration and impact, temperature, geopositioning, and then one that really only we do, and that's called metallic wash, where effectively we're analyzing the metallic particulates running through the pipeline. And that gives us the ability to predict corrosion. And the incredible thing about our device is it's externally mounted. That means that we're not tapping into the pipeline and causing a structural defect that could occur. So our next component is the artificial intelligence. So the data feeds from our Internet of Things device goes into our artificial intelligence where it's analyzed. And so in this data feed, what we see is an impact for a pipeline. And with that, we can clearly see that something happened. That's what I like about this example. But the real question is, what did our artificial intelligence find? Well, our artificial intelligence caught this 3 seconds before it happened. And that might not sound like a lot, but when it comes to an impact, that's we were able to predict something hitting the pipeline before it actually chose to hit that pipeline. And for a lot of our customers, they have remote systems that we could shut down that pipeline in 3 seconds. And so this was a near miss event. Nothing occurred from it, but it really shows potential for truly dangerous situations. So to translate this, we're able to predict pipeline leaks before they happen with a projected 96% accuracy. And so we're able to reduce leaks while saving our customers money. Let's talk about the market. So the pipeline market is huge. It's $26 billion. But the pipeline monitoring market, which is our total addressable market, is $8.72 billion. In 5 years, we plan to take 5% of that market to reach $325 million annually. And how we're doing that is through a twofold business model, where we're both doing one-time revenue and subscription-based revenue. The subscription-based revenue, the one-time revenue, we're charging per device, and we're charging at the profit margins that are similar to Ferrari and Apple. Our subscription revenue is anywhere from $500 to $25,000 per month per customer. And we even have custom subscriptions that can go even higher than that. And so this is a very friendly model to our bottom line. So as far as traction goes, we're partnered with the largest natural gas company in the world. That gives us access to over 3,000 miles of pipeline. We already have 7 meetings scheduled with other executives in the pipeline industry, and these are for major companies. And we hope to close those deals by the 2nd or 3rd quarter of next year, 2018. As far as competition goes, we're doing a whole lot of things that the other guys aren't. Vibration is one of those it's easy to measure externally. It's almost inconvenient to measure internally. But we're gathering variables that, to a lot of people is seen as, magic, when really it's just science, externally speaking. The other guys aren't doing any analysis on their pipeline data, much less artificial intelligence, which is, 3 steps above that. So it's really, really exciting stuff. Let's talk about the team. So first of all, Justin Stewart, he's a genius guy when it comes to analytics and databasing. Penn State grad, Eagle Scout. So a lot of passion for the environment, a lot of passion for protecting, God's creation here. And just an incredible guy. We have Rich Herbold, who's just as brilliant, Penn State grad, Eagle Scout once again, and everything finances, venture capital, just a genius. Dean Love is a mentor to me. He was the CEO of IronPro, which he had a successful exit from, and he has all the contacts we would ever need in the oil and gas industry. And then for me, I'm the former chief information technology officer of multiple oil and gas firms. I co-founded an analytic firm, and I'm an Eagle Scout. So, a whole lot of passion for the environment in the group, whole lot of industry experience, whether it's tech industry or oil and gas industry. So we have just a stellar team, and I couldn't be more blessed to work with this group. So let's talk about the raise. All right, so our goal was $25,000, which we achieved in December 5th. So woohoo! Our max is $107,000. So currently, as of 9 a.m. this morning, we're at 71,000. So we're getting that raise quickly, and so this is a perfect time to invest now before we hit that max. And what this money is a seed round. We're looking for research and development, patents, certification, and marketing, all of which requires money, all of which will help us reach our end goal and help us create a greener and safer oil and gas industry. Something that's critical to the investors is the exit, right? For a startup, there's really 2 primary exits. There's the initial public offering and the acquisition. For us, it would make a whole lot of sense with all the large oil and gas companies and the technology and AI companies for an acquisition to happen. We're hoping to complete Series A by Q3 of 2018, which according to Jay Rowley, that would raise our acquisition percentage up to 60%. And we're going to do this by leveraging a conference that we are invited to that very few startups are invited to, called Collision Alpha, and that's early second quarter 2018. So we're, once again, a lot of leverage, a lot going on, and we hope to gain more traction for investors by doing our TED Talk, which comes out in February. So once again, really cool stuff going on. So some frequently asked questions, and I'm just going to glance over these. Do we use standard deviation? Quick answer, no. It's where we start with analytics because it's, mathematically proven model. But as we gain data, we're able to actually do artificial intelligence, which is far more valuable than standard deviation ever will be. Another critical question, sorry, coffee, is what's proprietary? We have so much that's proprietary. We are collecting, the way that we're collecting our variables, the way that we analyze those variables, the PCB printable circuit board itself is proprietary. So there's even proprietary mathematics being used. So it's some really cool proprietary technology that we're working on here.
Hey, Mead, this is Sandra from Republic again. We have a number of questions coming through. Could you please respond to some? So one of the attendees is asking about the number of pipeline miles in the US and in the world, but also I think more importantly, he's asking or she's asking, how do you get to these companies to sell your device?
Okay, so there's 2.5 million miles of pipeline in this world, and it grows every single year. We're seeing just exponential growth. There's thousands of new pipelines added every year. As far as getting to these companies, as far as the oil and gas industry goes, it's kind of old school in that, like, you can't use Facebook marketing to reach these companies. However, it's very connection driven. And with our team, with with partnering with such a big company, EQT, we have a lot of those connections being built for us, and we already have a lot of connections. So if that kind of answers your question, it's all about connections and driving those connections and really proving our technology as worthwhile.
Yes, wonderful. And if the attendee has more questions, please do list that in the discussion of the deal page. But there's another one coming through from Chris, and he's asking, what is the methodology to obtain pipeline material thickness?
So material thickness, it's twofold. One, we can gain that through our device, and we can gain that through semi-proprietary methods, but it's kind of standard in the industry. Ultrasonics. So we can gauge the thickness of the pipeline, but also we gather that data through the graphic user interface. The user actually tells us some stats on their pipeline, just little bits like stuff like what are the normal pressures you would be seeing, and what thickness is the pipeline. Stuff like that. And also if the pipe, we can also tell through mapping whether the pipeline is near a road, but it's good to know whether the pipeline is, currently being worked on or something like that, because that'll give us different vibration information. So.
Okay, no, this is great. And actually there are many more questions that are coming through, but unfortunately we don't have time for it. So any questions that haven't been answered, I really would appreciate if you reach out to Mead directly on his deal page.
Right, so I'll just finish up here. So one of the big things that we believe in is keeping our investors in the loop. And how we're doing that is we're doing live investor videos for investors that invest more than $1,000, and which are later updated onto our update section of our Republic offering. So our first update was how we could prevented the Keystone pipeline leak. Our next one was about a startup-friendly budget. And then our third one, which I'm very passionate about, is making the world a better place. That's what it's all about, right? Whether it's our mission, whether it's our people, we just want to make this world a better place. And, we're capitalists. We believe in making money in the process. So you can watch these on our update section, and you can watch them live if you invest over $1,000. And we also do periodic updates. We plan on doing periodic updates after the seed round. So I'm Mead, founder of mIQroTech. Be a part of changing energy. Invest today through our Republic campaign. You can reach out to us through info@microtech.com. But once again, stay up to date on the Republic page. Things are moving fast, and we're more than blessed to be doing this. So thank you.
Thank you, Mead. Great presentation.
All right. All right, I am going to move it back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. All right, have a great day.
You too, bye. So next up, we are going to have the CEO of Green Piñata sharing her business and deal details. Just give me a moment. Shiva, are you on? Shiva, I think that your computer is muted. Could you please try to unmute? Wonderful. All right. And please feel free to share your screen.
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great.
Perfect.
So Green Piñata, get smart toys for smart kids. No shopping, no clutter.
Okay. I'm going to go to the presentation mode.
Thank you. Great, we can see your screen perfectly.
Fantastic.
Take
Okay.
it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shiva Kashalkar, the founder and CEO of Green Piñata Toys. So what led me start Green Piñata is my own daughter that you see on the screen. When she was 8 months old, I realized that we were spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on toys that she only played with for a few days or a few weeks. My daughter, like a million other kids, right, it's growing very fast. 85% of human brain develops within the first 5 years of our lives. And toys are the most popular tools through which children learn and explore. So it's no surprise that they grow up very fast, and so they get bored of toys too fast. And also what I realized is I didn't really know what was best for my child, for her early learning, and also what is it that she likes. Like I would see something, buy, bring home to only find that she is not interested. Buyer's remorse is biggest when it comes to toy shopping. So let's look at it a little deeply. So what's happening in the US is 30% of millennial parents that earn $100,000 or more a year are spending $1,500 on toys every year for each of their child. However, more than half of the toys are just sitting in a corner, untouched, ignored. A lot of money wasted. Also, just like me, most parents are wondering what is best for their child. No trusted source. They are just swimming in myriad of information from Facebook and online and friends and whatnot. However, there is nothing they can trust. To solve these challenges, we introduce Green Piñata Toys. So what we do is, it is a personalized curation, individually tailored for a particular child. And what we do is we combine data analytics on what the child's likes and dislikes are, what developmental needs are required for a particular child, and we combine it with our own proprietary toy curriculum that early educational specialists, our child experts have developed. So we combine both, and then we give a personalized curation subscription service. Let's look at how it works, right? So we say no clutter, no shopping, no guessing, only playing and learning. Let's see what this no clutter part is. So when a parent subscribes, we help them set developmental milestones for their child. So the age group we serve is between 6 months and 5 years. And we give them personalized recommendation. Our system learns of the child over time because it's monthly, they exchange monthly, we interact with the customers very closely, that we gather analytics and we are able to give them personalized recommendations. And the toys arrive at their door. It's 2-day free shipping all over the US. And their kids play with the toys for as long as they want. And they can buy the toys they like. And we do a milestone review when they're done, and they return the rest of the toys. So this way, they don't have to keep the toys their kids have outgrown. And we ship them the next set of toys. So that's how the service works. What are we doing here, right? We are capitalizing on millennials' purchasing behavior. So they value convenience, personalization, and access to expensive products. So our toys, these are not, noise-making plastic toys. These are what we call the Ferrari of toys. These are wooden, premium, they're expensive, and they are very well made, they are educational, and they're approved by world-renowned pediatricians and child developmental specialists. And also, the e-commerce market is expected to hit $4 trillion by 2020. And what we're also doing is capitalizing on the exploding sharing economy. Millennial parents, especially when they become parents, they want services that are eco-friendly. and they want convenience, and they also want affordability, especially access to expensive products, right? And sharing economy is expected to hit $335 billion by 2025. So what is the untapped opportunity here, right? So you see on the left-hand side, there is toy retail. Toys R Us went bust, everything is online, and Amazon is it's not a curated experience. And also there are some small stores and small subscription services out there. And then on the other side is all the information sources where, you know, the parents are lost with too many things. And what we do is we bring everything together and we give a personalized experience. So our competitive differences. The competitive difference here is Play. It's also a rental subscription, just like Green Piñata Toys. However, they are a Lego rental subscription, and their primary target is 4 years and above. And they don't focus on personalized or individually tailored experience. And there are also 2 other subscription services, which are Bloom and Little Peanuts. They're not rental. They send 4 toys every quarter. Whereas we have done extensive research, and what we have found out is a child under 5 years, they need 4 new toys, 3 to 4 new toys every 4 weeks. So that's what Green Piñata Toys does. And we also have much better customer touch points than Bloom or Little Peanuts that only sends a box once a quarter. So what is the market, right? The toy market, the entire toy market is $50 billion. And our focus of ages under 5, that retail market is $5 billion. And we are focusing on the high-earning millennial families that are into such toys and this kind of subscription services. And we expect to have a year 5 revenue of $55 million. And we will see how we will get there just shortly. Traction, right? We launched beta in 2015, and over 2 years, we have shipped more than 2,000 boxes, and we closed our first angel round this fall, and that helped us grow really fast. And we have grown 3x in just the last 3 months. Right now, we are in a high growth stage. Great time to invest in us. And we also have won a few awards. We launched nationwide early this year. We ship all over the US. It's 2-day free shipping. Okay, so the revenue opportunity, right? So the rental subscription, that our topmost revenue source. And the second is, toy sales. Today, what happens is when we send 4 toys in a box, 30% of the toys people buy. So our conversion from rental to sales is 30%. And when we get better and better at the personalized curation experience, we expect that conversion to sales will increase from 30% to 50% by year 5. So that's another source. And what is this third thing? Promotional placement, right? So we are serving this niche market that every organic baby brand is targeting at. And it is so difficult for them to differentiate themselves on Amazon or, even target them on Facebook marketing and Instagram marketing. However, we have all these fantastic analytics on the likes and dislikes of a child and purchasing behavior and demographics of this family, so we become a very attractive marketing platform for other organic baby brands. So that is what is promotional placement. Right now it's in the beta stage, and we have proven this with 20 organic brands which want to market their product through our box. Say, for example, we drop a sample of a diaper in the box, and we charge them $10 for the sample. We also have a very huge online digital presence through which they can market as well. So that's a promotional placement that differentiates us, and that's the power of data analytics and personalization we are developing. So a bit of testimonial there, city living parents love it. People, love because this service grows with their kids, and it's ideal for, the right for their kids. And also, eco-friendly parents, they also love this service. We have gotten fantastic media coverage so far. I want to highlight one of those that we got just yesterday by Crowdability. Crowdability is almost it's a third party media review source that reviews promising startups, and they have done due diligence and reviewed us, and they have advised why we are fantastic early stage investment. So they have talked about our crowdfunding campaign here on Republic. Our team, we have a stellar team. I have more than 13 years of experience in high-tech marketing. I have 7 years in big data, and our marketing, head of marketing, she comes from Care.com, Fatherly. She completely understands how to market to this young age group, and we have built a very, very sturdy marketing platform that not only helps us, grow by paying for it, but also extremely well organically. Our entire team is fantastic, and our advisors, they have worked for great consumer brands and advisors who have gone through a number of exits and helped startups be multi-million-dollar companies. So funds usage, currently we are raising $1 million to fund our customer growth, and also to expand our capabilities on the technology capabilities on this curation and personalization predictive analytics engine that we are building. So our goal is to exit in the next 5 years. So we are raising this $1 million in Q1 2018. We have already have investors lined up. We are leveraging our Republic crowdfunding campaign as well, and we expect to do a Series A and then the exit. So what is your return, right? Like I said, we have a 5-year exit plan, and we have also worked towards our potential acquisition partners, such as Target, Walmart, and Amazon has a history of buying niche online retailers as well, and our manufacturers, including our manufacturers and other toy manufacturers. So, Invest Today, we launched just last week, and we have 100 investors already. So go to our Republic campaign page. And just to summarize, it's no clutter, no shopping, no guessing, only playing and learning. So read about us here, and also read about us on Crowdability. Just say Crowdability Green Piñata. You should be able to land in our in the article that they have written about us. So that's about it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for such a great presentation, Shiva. Since we are running shorter of time, let's address the questions that come to you in your discussion section of your deal page.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Vera. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so one of the common questions is, are we seeing a pattern from where most people subscribe for the service? The answer to that is yes, we do see a pattern. It's mostly the urban area, the cities, like Chicago, New York City, Boston, and parts of California, Seattle, and whatnot. But we also have people that sign up from rural areas as well, where they don't have access to specialty toy stores and whatnot. So it's variation, but we do see a higher percentage from big cities. And so can I go through one other question, or?
Shiva, I think we are running short on time, so let's give the word to the next presenter.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ketan, are you on? Wonderful. Give me a moment.
Great.
You can start your video and share your screen. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Are you
Hi.
ready?
Yes, we can see you. We cannot yet see your Now we can see your screen as well. Thank you very much.
Great.
Please
Hi,
take it
everyone.
away.
Sure thing. Good morning, everyone. I'm Ketan Anjari, the founder of HireClub, and HireClub helps friends find jobs. We solve really big problem that almost everyone in the world deals with. A few years back, I lost my job. I was unemployed for over 6 months, and it was a really stressful time. If you've ever been unemployed or looking for a job, you know how difficult it is. On average, people are unemployed for 27 weeks, and the median is 10 weeks. It's a really difficult time for a lot of people. This is why I created HireClub. We help you find a job through referrals, and we train you to land that job with career coaching. Already, 72% of hires are done through referrals. So it's the best way to actually hire. And employees you hire through referrals have the highest retention rate. Typically, job ads only land 15% of hires. So we believe that using community and referrals is the best way to actually hire. And one thing about having a community is that you don't have to do this alone. You can do this with our community. And we started with just 25 members, and now we're 21,000 now. We added 10,000 this year alone this March through word of mouth. Our membership's growing 10% month over month, and it's an extremely diverse set of members. I'm proud to say we have 50% women in our group. Our ages range from 18 to 70, and even our roles, we have about 20% designers, 15% developers, 18% marketing. So even though it's all kinds of people, it's all kinds of roles as well. Here's how it works. It's really simple. Anyone can post a job for free. And the way you post a job is very conversational. And what happens is friends can refer friends by tagging each other. It's an easy way of doing vouching or referrals. And typically in 15 minutes of a job being posted, an interview is being set up. And with HireClub, jobs become a conversation. You know, in the history of job UIs for the last 20 years, they haven't changed. It's this cold, lonely page where you click apply, you never hear back. With HireClub, you're actually talking to the hiring manager directly, which really kind of changes the way people feel about hiring. Instead of not hearing back ever, you hear back immediately. And it's also a great chance for the company to kind of be the first touch on their branding. A lot of times, hiring is the first time someone hears about a company. And if you can improve the hiring experience, you can create a better brand. We've gotten over 2,000 plus companies hiring. Obviously, some of the big ones like you see here, but even small startups that most people haven't heard of. We've had co-founders found. We do contract work. It's all kinds of companies posted. Now, because we started in San Francisco, we do have a lot of tech companies, but we just had Michael Mina post his first chef's position on HireClub. We are right now focused on white collar positions, but that does not have to be a limitation. But it's just kind of where our community is. And a lot of times these companies post these jobs before they post them anywhere else. So both Apple, Facebook, and Google have all posted jobs on HireClub before they're posting anywhere else. So that exclusive first access to a job can be really powerful. And one of the great things we've seen is the cycle repeats. So we had someone who got a job at Airbnb, and guess what? Because they love the HireClub experience so much, they ended up posting for their next hire for Airbnb on HireClub. On other sites, when you're looking for a job, it's just you, right? You're by yourself trying to apply and fix your resume. You just don't have anyone to help you out. With HireClub, we expand the referral network to be 100x what you could do on your own. It's your friends' friends. It's all of HireClub, which is really fantastic. With our 21,000 members, we estimate you have a 7 million person reach that you can potentially get referred into. We started experimenting with some initial consumer revenue. One of the key things we do is career coaching. We found that there's a lot of very talented people in the market, but they don't know always how to market themselves. Career counseling is something most of us end in high school or college. We found out by helping people improve their resumes, teaching them how to interview, helping them with their salary negotiations, we actually can close jobs better. Oh, sorry, I'm seeing the internet. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. And we charge this service at $120 an hour with a 30% margin. We've had now, since we posted this, 160 customers, 99% 5-star reviews. We had someone get a mock interview, and then the next day, 4 days later, they got a hire. And so we really feel like career coaching is one of the things missing when it comes to job platforms, because not everyone knows how to prep properly for a job interview. This is growing at 25% month over month. We've done about 11K in revenue since July when we incorporated. And this is how we see our business model playing out.
Hey,
We're currently in phase.
I don't see your screen sharing anymore.
Oh no.
Yeah, oh no, it's good. It's back on, thank you.
It's back on? Okay. Okay, great. So this is how we see our business model playing out. So 3 phases. So we're currently in phase 1 where we focus on career coaching. And we have over about 22 coaches right now. They're getting $84 an hour. We get the rest out of 120. And we estimate in the next year we can build it up to 96K a month with 10 coaches working at 80 hours a month. Our coaches are certified coaches sometimes they're professionals like recruiters. Actually, most of our coaches are recruiters. And it becomes an extension of the work they've already been doing and haven't gotten paid for. So we actually have an amazing amount of people applying for being coached, and we vet them. And what this actually is, it's a test field for what we want to build is an on-demand work platform. So the way career coaching works is you're really hiring someone to do you a service for a certain amount of time, which is basically like any other hourly service. And so we think we can take that same platform and expand it to be any kind of work. So imagine on your HireClub profile, if you're a designer, someone just clicks hire and they can get you as a designer for a couple hours. They can get you as a developer or email marketer or an event planner or an operations, HR, whatever service people need. And we've seen other platforms, like Upwork, use this kind of model. But a lot of those models are a race to the bottom. Because we're a vetted platform with 20,000 plus skilled professionals, our minimum rate on that is $60 an hour going up to $180 an hour, which again, we still take 30% of. We think this platform will make it really easy for anyone to hire someone as they need. And then we see in the next phase of that platform, using the same technology, is, when someone wants to get hired for a full-time job. We actually want to redefine how hiring works by saying, right now, if you go to an interview for a job, it costs a company between $3,000 and $6,000. It takes about 8 hours for an all-day interview. And it's just not a really efficient process. The questions people ask, like, where do you want to be in 5 years? A lot of it's social lubricant. What we feel like is our product we want to call is HireClub tryouts. You show up to work, you are treated like a consultant, you get paid, and at the end of the day, the company can decide whether they want to continue forward or not. If they want to not continue forward, well, you got paid. They saved actually thousands of dollars by just trying you out, and then you move on. If they do want to hire you, we would enable a recruiting fee, which currently we're estimating at 15%. We think this is a fantastic way to hire, and in fact, it's the way I've been hiring as a professional for over 20 years. Using your merit to hire, to me, is the right way to hire. And this is out of an amazingly huge market. In the US alone, recruiting is a $124 billion market. Globally, it's $416 billion. HireClub is already in multiple countries and cities. We've had our first hire in London and Hong Kong already. We actually had someone move to Hong Kong for a job they got in HireClub. And the feedback we get from our community and customers is amazing. We really have gotten feedback like, you've changed my life. Because our fastest time to hire is 5 days. We're right about to announce we just had someone got hired at Tesla in less than 2 weeks after posting on HireClub. There's a lot of startups that promise to change the world. But the reason we do HireClub is because it really do help others. Giving someone amazing employment and giving them the ability to earn money is something that gives me a lot of happiness and passion. And our whole community using that works together on that. Thank you very much. Sandra?
Yes, very good. So I see a slide up on recruiting market size.
Yes, this one?
Yes. Is there anything else you would like to discuss? And if not, then I have a question about your team.
Yeah, we are raising on Republic like we have been. It's been fantastic. Our community's come together. We've already met our minimum. We met it within 30 days. We're at almost at $37,000 right now, averaging $800 a day in investment. So it's been really fantastic. Our goal is to get to 100K or more, our stretch goal for that campaign. What was your question, Sandra? On the team?
Yes, on the team. Who's helping you build this business?
Sure. And we do list the team on the Republic page. So, my background is I've been a designer and developer for almost 20 years. I've worked at multiple startups. Some of them have been acquired. MetaWeb was acquired by Google, which now powers Google Search. It's called Knowledge, Google Knowledge Graph. And, as a CEO, it's my role to kind of build this amazing team, which is what's great because it's HireClub. We actually have fantastic people coming to work with us. So we have Annie Gelada, who is our email marketing person, who's fantastic. She really spearheads our community outreach and kind of maintaining both the community forum and our communications with our community. We have Lisa Marie, who is our product manager. We are very much driven on user feedback. So because our community is so active, 68% of our users are active every month. We post kind of questions to our, what features they would like to see next, and we'll get over 200 responses in a day. And so it makes it really fantastic to actually build the right things, and she kind of leads that. We have two developers, Omar Jalal and Grace Durham, who are Rails developers, both graduates of local boot camps. And they've been a fantastic addition to obviously the dev team. And they have one visual designer and one UX designer, Shruti Desai and Neela Gaspi, who actually joined us a few weeks ago after coming to one of our events. And both of them are kind of handling both our visual design, which obviously is very important, and user flow experience. We're a very iterative company when it comes to design, and our designers love getting feedback. And so we're almost iterating daily on the feedback we get from customers.
All right, excellent. Thank you for giving additional detail about your team. Very helpful. Laketan, with that, our time is up. So thank you so much for explaining more about HireClub and sharing your deal details. Have a nice afternoon.
Sure, thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Great. Our next presenter, hi Desiree, from Pearachute. Take it away.
Okay, great. Thanks for having me, everyone. It's nice to be back on Republic. Okay, so
Yes, we are seeing your screen come up. Wonderful.
Perfect. So Pearachute is a family activity club, and we make it really easy for parents and caregivers to discover, book, and drop into the best family activities in your city, all at the drop of a button, all for one affordable rate. And the reason it's such a problem is that if you are a parent of a young child, you want to introduce them to soccer and swimming and music and art. But unfortunately, a few weeks in, they're in the corner crying, or they're refusing to get into the water, and you have 10 weeks left and you can't get your money back. And so you feel like you've made this big investment on something that doesn't really bring you closer as a family and isn't necessarily helping develop them. And what's interesting and what we're learning over time is that, this doesn't just stop when your kids are 4 or 5 and figure out that they like Taekwondo. It actually happens kind of every weekend, right? Every weekend as parents, we wake up and we say, what are we going to do today? What are we going to do to have fun? What are we going to do to make something memorable? What are we going to do to put on Instagram? And so as we grow and expand, that's really what Pearachute is moving into. So we have discovered that we live in this really beautiful intersection of discovery, convenience, and affordability. And by that, I mean we help parents, discover the best things in their city, but we do it in a way that makes it much more affordable. So it's not just saving the $250 that you would spend on 10 weeks of soccer, but it's also helping you afford to go to museums more affordably now, or kind of bucket list things like the pumpkin patch or Blue Man Group or anything like that. And the way it works is that parents come to the platform and they choose one of our membership plans or a flex pack. They choose how many credits they want to purchase, and they can immediately begin scrolling through thousands of classes. They can filter by age. They can filter by classes that both of their children or all 3 of their children can attend together. They can look at neighborhood. They can look at things they've been to before. And they really just kind of click, drop in, and they're all set. And our parents love it because it's super convenient. They can book up to 15 minutes before, and they can cancel up to an hour before. So if there's a changing nap schedule or a surprise visit from grandma and grandpa, it's no big deal, and they haven't lost any money. And our partners love us because we fill seats and we boost revenue. In fact, this number is old. We're actually closer to about $850,000 that we've put into local businesses. And most of these businesses are women-owned, and a lot of them are minority-owned. And when we work with them and we help bring them revenue, we're not just kind of obviously lining their pockets, we're actually helping expand the market. So when we generate more revenue for our partners, they hire more teachers, they put more tables in the classes, they hire more artists and more musicians, more dancers, and they really help kind of build this economy around just encouraging people to find things that they love. So one of the big kind of macro trends that's really influencing this market is the fact that we now know that 90% of brain development happens before the age of 5. That's something that we didn't really know 10 years ago. And because of that, we're seeing just a massive explosion of activities really focused on enrichment. And when you look at kind of what's happened in just in the childcare space so far, so we now spend 50% more now on childcare than we did 10 years ago, because we're spending money on early childhood development, not just kind of daycare where you drop them off and hope that they're fed and alive when you pick them up. We're really focused on things that are more engaging and have a bigger impact long term. And so what I think is going to happen is that this space will, in a lot of ways, be reminiscent of what happened in health and wellness, where it started out in the kind of tens of billions about 30 years ago, and now it's in the tens of trillions internationally, because there's just so much momentum around it. So when you look at kind of what's addressable for this space in this market, in the kids activity space as we know it right now, the kind of drop-in activities, the youth sports, that whole space is about $32 billion a year. And about $4 billion of that is addressable in our current model of being able to drop in with a subscription basis. But as we've been spending the last few months investing in more experiences, indoor skydiving, live performances, outdoor concerts, what we realize is that the entire family entertainment space is really now our target market. And that's a much, much bigger category. It's actually $100 billion a year spent. And it really is only getting bigger. And that's because there are 75 million millennials in this country, and only about 20% of them have started having children. So we still have 60 million millennials that have not started spending in this category. And we know that about 80% of them would rather invest in experiences than things. And our friends over at Winnie did a study, and they proved that millennial parents, like almost 60% of them, would rather invest in travel and experiences than in a home for their families. So the spending habits in this category really are changing. Excuse me, I'm sorry I have a cold. But so within this broader opportunity, our vision really is to become the number one place that families turn to when they're looking to do something that they love with their families, something memorable. And to do that, we want to be the number one provider of family activities in the world by 2020. And we're honestly well on our way. And part of the reason for that is that we've understood that the key to that is just about having a massive amount of inventory. So when we started the platform in March of 2016, we launched with about 8,000 spots a month in Chicago. And now we are in Chicago, Dallas, Kansas City, San Francisco, and Washington, D.C. And we have over 350,000 spots on the platform every month, which is just a sign that we're able to capture some of the network effect that's happening when we partner with one partner in one market and another partner, and same partner in another market. but it's also a testament to the fact that it really is working for these partners, that we are bringing them new families that become long-term members, and at the same time, we're helping teach them kind of new trends that are happening in the space, including opening up their platform for more drop-in classes. We also have really figured out that there's a direct correlation between improving the quality and quantity of inventory and what's happening with our user retention. So in Chicago, we've gotten churn down as low as 1.9% in July. It's hovering, I need to update this, but it's hovering around 4% right now. And that's significantly better than anyone else in the category, from what we understand and from some of what our investors have told us, that we are showing the most progress that they've seen in the space. And when you look at other numbers, which I'll get to in just a second, our retention over our 17-month period is 46%, which in consumer subscription is really impressive. So this year alone, we will more than quadruple the number of active subs on the platform, and revenue is growing at a really great clip. In fact, last month we grew revenue by 41%, and we were profitable in 3 out of 5 of our markets for the first time ever. At 18 months old for a business, it's I guess closer to 20 months. We're really just thrilled with the reaction that we're getting from families all over the country. And part of that, of course, was the fact that we were on Shark Tank, but honestly, most of it is the fact that we're building something that people love and they're continuing to come back and spend. So more of the growth came in November from existing customers than came from new customers. And one of the other things that we just are doing really well is we're figuring out how to convert customers affordably and efficiently. So Facebook continues to be our best performing channel. So, all year long, we've been able to maintain a Facebook CAC of around $27 in Chicago and a net LTV of just under $170. So we're getting a really great return on that. And what it means is that our payback period on these customers, at most is about 4.5 months. But we're keeping them, as you can see, for significantly longer. In fact, September's cohort from 2016, we still have about 55% of that cohort, which is just amazing. It feels like families love us and they want to stay. But what's really, I think, important to share is that and why we're on Republic right now and why we're excited to be sharing this next phase of the business is that we've known all along that the subscription service was only going to be one element of this business, that we didn't want to spend all this time and energy to acquire customers and bring families in only to lose them when their children turn 5 or 6 and they're ready for progressive classes. So for a while, we've been planning how we can get deeper into family experiences, those bucket list things. And as an element of that, we realized that we need to have deeper integration with third-party ticketing platforms, brokerage platforms, and some of the other external tools like MindBody and Active Network. So we're actively working right now on integrating with some of the best registration platforms in the country that can give us real-time access to inventory and really take down our cost of acquiring the supply side, and at the same time create a tremendous amount of value for our customers. And alongside that, we are building a social platform, so that we realize that a big part of what's happening in our space is that families are wanting to go do things with other families, and they want to meet new families, new friends that have similarly aged children through a platform like Pearachute. So sometime before January 1st, we are launching the social component, which we know will have really big impact on stickiness and also in transactions, actually. So that is what's headed on the product roadmap. In terms of competition, just so you guys know, we do have a few competitors. Some of them have moved around a little bit in terms of direct or indirect, but our biggest direct competitor is in New York. It's called KidPass. We're big fans of theirs. They've definitely raised more money than we have, but we're in more markets. I would say we're the gorilla that they need to watch out for. But they are great founders, or going after something a little more along the lines of ClassPass, I think, where we're extending more into family activities and experiences. And then Sawyer was the second biggest. It's pivoted more into a MindBody online competitor, but it is in our category. And then indirect competitors, Groupon, ClassPass, and Eventbrite, are all potential acquirers or partners for us, but we definitely look at them as role models and things that we can learn from their experiences. But at the end of the day, the reason that we're going to win is that we are building a brand that parents really love, that has a level of network effect and virality that it's easy to invite your friends to go to class with you, but it's also about kind of this broader message, and that is that we are parents building this platform for ourselves and for our friends, and it resonates in our brand, and it resonates in the way that we acquire our customers and our ambassador program, our social feed, and it's not an entirely external experience. Almost everything that you see up here on this wall right now is content generated by our customers for no other reason than the fact that they wanted to share how much they love Pearachute with their network. So we are headed in a great direction, and I'm really excited about the future, especially with such a strong brand. So I think, if there are some major FAQs that go through any pitch, it's probably kind of how big can this get? Why will we win? Hopefully I answered that a little bit already. And then what's the exit plan? So how big this can get, I do think that the market is getting bigger and bigger every single year. And as more millennials keep spending, we're going to see just massive growth. But ultimately, I think that in Chicago, for example, I think we can get between 50 and 100,000 families transacting every month at around $40 or $50. So when you kind of extrapolate that out to the next biggest cities and then discount for city sizes, I think we can easily be, $200 to $300 million a year company in the next 3 to 4 years. And then why will we win? I think there are several reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is that we have really great kind of team market fit. We understand who we're building for. We really intimately understand the problems. And actually my oldest son turned 6 today, so I very much understand the problem also of aging out of the core business of Pearachute and moving into experiences. So I think that is a major benefit for us, but also the fact that this is my second startup, I feel very confident in where we are, what we need to learn. I'm very rational about the flaws in this baby that is Pearachute, but I'm also very aware of how big this opportunity can be, from monetizing in a variety of ways, from supply side to sponsorships. And we're just starting to scratch the surface of that. And I wish I could share more, but I can't because there's probably competitors watching this, but I can answer a few questions if you have them. And then from an exit plan perspective, there's a lot of ways we can go. I know that there will be consolidation, of course, in the space. Hopefully we'll be the one leading that consolidation and ultimately potentially IPOing. But there's also a lot of big opportunities for a private equity roll-up that are focused on the kids space. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of years and how we participate in that. And try to keep time. How'd I do?
Yes, you did really well. In fact, we have, I think, one more question that is coming through here. So an attendee is asking, I watched you on Shark Tank and thought you did great. Mark Cuban, yes? Mark Cuban making an offer was awesome. Did he become an investor, or did he not close his offer after the show like they do all the time? And did you gain a lot of new clients because of the show?
Thank you for the question. Yes. So unfortunately, the deal with Mark didn't work out. There were a lot of terms in the deal that were very difficult. And ultimately, we were only about 4 months old when we went on the show. So it was not a perfect scenario, but I am grateful for the experience. I've learned a lot from it. And then the truth is that, we filmed that 1.5 years ago. So we should have aired last season, and then we didn't air, and so we just thought that it was dead in the water. We weren't going to air. And then this year, they gave us 3 days notice and said that we were going to be on Shark Tank. And so we had to really hustle to make it possible from a technological perspective. And I think the impact was great. We got 3 months worth of registrations in 24 hours, but it wasn't like the silver bullet that turned this company into a $100 million company. So we still have our work cut out for us. But thank you for the question.
Great. All right, Desiree, thank you for your time. And with that, we are going to close Pearachute's pitch for the day.
Bye. Thanks all.
Bye. All right. Our next presenter is CEO of RMR Labs, Michael Liu. Michael, take it away.
Hi, Sandra. Thank you so much. And thanks to the Republic team and everybody for joining today to give me another chance to talk about RMR Laboratories. So just jumping right in, what we see, what we're doing at RMR Laboratories is we're really an R&D company that is developing health and wellness applications using cannabis derivatives. The gap that I see is that I think the mass market is ready to use cannabis in a safe and effective way, but we're lacking the rigor in product development to really develop, those safe and convenient products. So until there's a company that's laser focused on those 3 attributes, safe, convenient, and effective products, I think cannabis is still going to be a huge opportunity, but we're missing a big part of the market. So that's what we're doing at RMR Laboratories, and we think we have some really great advantages, starting with our team. I'll get to it in a little more detail in a second, but we have over 60 years of cumulative relevant experience in life sciences, healthcare, and within the cannabis industry on the team. And so I'm inspired and excited to work with them every single day. I've talked a little bit about the need for product development and additional rigor, and I'm excited about our first series of products that are the technology that underlies the first series of our products. And I'll get to that in a second as well. And we've already attracted some really great strategic partners to help us, scale our production and distribution as well. So, we think we have some really great advantages, and can't wait to tell you more about it. I alluded to this a little bit in the beginning, but I think that until now, there are really only a few ways to get the benefits of cannabis into your body. They're really, you can smoke it or ingest it. I think both of them have some side effects. They're slightly inconsistent. And when we talk about mainstream health and wellness applications, those aren't necessarily the most convenient forms to use every day. So when I started looking in the market, because I wanted to address some chronic pain problems that I had, I started looking at topicals. But what I noticed was that the topicals on the market are really superficial and ineffective. I wasn't comfortable with the detail that was provided on, why the products work, what is the technology that's underlying any of the products, why would one be better than the other, and things like that. And so we know that the active ingredients themselves, the cannabinoids namely, are effective. There is research that is very conclusive in that direction. But I just didn't find the form of applying those cannabinoids that I needed to be convenient to use every day. So we at RMR Laboratories went and we figured it out. We were able to partner with a pharmaceutical company to leverage their delivery system that can deliver active ingredients through the skin. And we were able to combine it with a proprietary formulation that houses and delivers CBD within the skin in 15 minutes. We like to say that it's like injecting cannabis into your body, but in a non-traumatic way. So let me describe a little bit more about what I'm talking about. So it all starts with an understanding of the skin itself. And, to take a step back, we have to realize that the skin is a protective layer. So, many of the creams and topicals on the market are just that. They just sit on the surface of the skin because the skin is a very hard layer to get through. If it were easy, then, we'd all be in trouble because, we've been bombarded with things all the time. So, 99.9% of the topicals that are out there, many of the ingredients kind of just sit on the surface of your skin or get stuck at the top in this layer called the stratum corneum. But the technology that we have at RMR has figured out a way at a molecular level to create that intercellular route through the skin and deliver the active ingredients, as I mentioned, into your body up to 25 millimeters deep. There's many different benefits by opening up this route. We've removed a major barrier to delivering medicine into your body. And so we can tailor our formulations to different applications, and that dovetails with the rigor that we're introducing into our product development process I mentioned earlier, so that we can start to tailor and really activate the medicinal properties of different cannabinoids. So the science and the technology we have is rigorous, and it's also protected. We have an IP portfolio that consists of 40 different patents, all in various states of approval. We have an exclusive license to use this within cannabinoids, including the right to sublicense. I like to say that we have complete strategic control over this basket of technology within the cannabis industry. The technology itself has been in development for many years. It's clinically validated. It's what I think uses the gold standard in clinical validation, which are human trials. So there have been over 15 IRB approved studies using over 1,200 patients that tested the technology itself, and it's been proven to work and deliver different active ingredients as it was intended to. So thinking about the market that we're addressing, cannabis itself is growing at a tremendous rate. It's one of the fastest growing industries in the US. And within the cannabis industry, health and wellness applications are really driving the majority of the growth. And the reason why is, I think is part of what I mentioned earlier is that it's becoming more accepted by the mainstream user. And we can see that, there are a lot of serious health applications that we can begin to address by, introducing more mass market products into the industry. But there's a gap there. There's just not a lot of companies that are doing that type of research. But here at RMR Laboratories, we're kind of laser focused on addressing that gap and introducing that rigor, and it's starting to address some of the consumers that are going to enter the market, as you see there. So our core strengths are going to be in R&D and marketing and sales, and we'll develop, as I mentioned, strategic partners for other areas of the business. And we've been seeing good traction so far, and we've been able to sign some pretty heavyweight strategic partners, and I'm really excited about working with them to scale the business. The first partnership that we have is with a company called Advanced Nutrients, and they've been operating in the cannabis industry for over 15 years. And so their primary business model really starts at the beginning of the value chain. They are a company that provides a lot of the chemicals and fertilizers to increase yields for growers in the industry. So, they have a vision to move closer to the end user. And so for us, we have, heavily differentiated products and technology. It fits well with their mission. And I'm excited to be working with them to launch our products in California and beyond. So talking about upcoming milestones, I'm really excited about the progress we've made so far in our short time frame. We've been working on this for about 6 months, since June, and we're very close to commercializing our first 2 products to address chronic pain and sports injuries. And those would be primarily CBD-based formulations, and we're going to launch 2 at the beginning of the first quarter of 2018. You can see that we're not stopping there. Our R&D roadmap is pretty robust, and so we are headlong in developing future applications to address additional health ailments, and I'll dive into that in a second. But you can see that the goal is to also launch additional products every quarter of next year, heading into the last quarter. In conjunction with that, we need to scale our production and logistics, and I alluded to some of the way we're going to do that previously with the partners that we've already kind of signed up. We're finalizing our product branding and our packaging concepts. I mentioned earlier that one of the things that we're going to need to do is to do a little bit of education in the market, because I just think there's a lot of confusion with existing products, with cannabis itself. And so, we're going to embark on a pretty robust journey with our customers, and I call it onboarding customers. So, we've started on that path actually just yesterday, where I think had a very unique event where we actually opened up a conversation with 2 of our trial users. We opened that up to the community, and we had a live event where we were just having a conversation. We took questions from the audience. The users were able to describe how they, what they thought of our product, the results that they gained from it, and how it compared, frankly, to other things they've tried in the past. So I'll put a plug in for that event, and you can see a recording of that actually on the Republic website, on our crowdfunding offering that's going on right now. Finally, we are launching in 3 markets initially, and then we'll fast follow on to the rest of the West Coast markets later on in the year. We are also working with additional distribution partners, talking about future state markets as well. But for now, we're going on to a kind of a state-by-state strategy. The products that I alluded to on the prior slide are two kind of flagship CBD-based formulations. You can see some of the feedback on the screen there, and I should say that that feedback is not unique. We've had tremendous feedback from all of our users. Over 90% of the users have had relief within 15 minutes, and every single user has felt relief of some kind. The duration of relief has been from 90 minutes to a few hours. In some cases, the feedback we received was, I put this on before bed and it allows me to sleep, where previously I've had a lot of trouble falling asleep, not because there's any kind of sedative effect, but it's just because based on people's pain, they weren't able to find a comfortable position to sleep. And so, they were able to put on our chronic pain formulation, and that allowed them to that relieved their pain enough so that they can finally get a good night's sleep. And so that's really great to hear. You can see our initial product concepts there. We're in the process of finalizing and testing the brands and the concepts, but we're excited about, again, the feedback we've heard so far, not only about the product performance, but also our packaging concepts and our brand concepts. And so stay tuned for more updates on that as we get closer and closer to launch. With regards to our profitability, we were operating in a pretty attractive segment, and because of our differentiated technology, I think that we have a unique opportunity to drive a lot of value. And frankly, the secular trends in the industry are also tailwinds for us. The largest portion of our cost stack are the active ingredients, and so as more supply comes online, as every forecast suggests that more supply will come online, the cannabis extracts price will decrease. And I think that our strategy for securing the supply chain are to develop long-term supply agreements with a few preferred suppliers. And so I think that also provides opportunity to hedge and to manage that portion of our cost stack. But as you can see, the unit economics are really attractive for us. In addition to the first two products that we're going to launch, I'm really excited about where the roadmap is going, because we can not only build quite a bit of application breadth in terms of the ailments we address, but we can also build a lot of product line depth just from the tailoring of the different formulations from in the topical product group. So we can add additional active ingredients. We can optimize for certain features. We can adjust the concentration. And again, as I mentioned, we can build breadth along different applications. And we are continuing to do that work, even as we are finalizing our product launch for the first quarter of next year. We're not only stopping with topicals, because as I mentioned, we're aiming to be the kind of dominant consumer pharma company in the cannabis space, right? So we're also thinking about other product categories and forms. Each expansion we make will be a deliberate one. It'll have to meet the bar that I said earlier with regards to effectiveness, safety, and convenience. But we are also thinking about other categories. We're not only focused on topicals, even though, frankly, we could spend a lot of time developing and building out the topical category. And I think it would be a very good use of that time. I talked about the team earlier, and I couldn't be more excited to work with them. I think we push each other in a really good direction, and I think we push the company in a really good direction. In addition to myself, we have Ryan, who is not only a medical doctor, but he spent over 20 years in life sciences, both as a partner at McKinsey, as well as in startups in the life sciences area himself. Big Mike, he is the CEO of Advanced Nutrients, and we work closely with him to make sure that our mission stays aligned and that our strategic objectives are aligned as well. Rajat, he is also a former partner at McKinsey. He has tremendous experience in the healthcare and life sciences area. He is also a serial entrepreneur. Layla, who, if you do tune into the recording of our user feedback session yesterday, she leads our consumer research, and she does a great job in guiding and developing the roadmap to make sure that we meet that bar of safety and effectiveness for all our products. Has over a decade of experience. She's launched many products in this space and similar spaces, and I'm really excited to work with her as well. For myself, I come from a consulting, military, and technology background. I've also, had a couple startups in the past, and so, I've also kind of been through the ringer with regards to not only startups, but within the life sciences and healthcare industries as well. In addition to that, we're working with just tremendous teams all across the board in different functions. Too numerous to name right now, but as I mentioned, I'm excited about the progress we made in our short time. We are focused at RMR to access public markets within the 3 to 5 year time frame. I expect at that point, going international will be a very big part of the conversation if we haven't already. Canada is a very attractive next market for us, and we've garnered some early interest from partners up there. And so I expect within the 3 year time frame, we would need to access public markets for that growth capital. And that's how we're structuring the company. And then, I don't see these as mutually exclusive endpoints. I think that after we access those public markets and all the rigor that comes with that, the timing is, likely right for a strategic investment by a big corporate. We can discuss and debate on when the state and federal regulations for cannabis will converge, but my sense is that it'll be in the 3 to 7 year time frame. So I think I'm just about out of time, but if you'd like to find out more, I'd invite you to join us at the Republic page I mentioned earlier. There's a recording of our user session there. There's discussion there as well. I invite you to pose questions and learn more. Thank you very much for the time.
Thank you, Michael. This was a really comprehensive presentation. Thank you for that. And we see a lot of questions come through for your company and deal, but we don't have time to address them now. So those will be posted in your discussion section of your deal page.
Fantastic. I look forward to engaging in the discussion there.
Thank you very much. Excellent. So we have 3 more presentations today. Next will be up FreshMynd, and then Coding Autism, followed by SilkRoll. So please stay tuned until FreshMynd joins today's webinar. Seema?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for joining, and feel free to share your screen with the viewers.
Here I go.
It's coming up. Great, take it away.
Great. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'll start by saying a little bit about ADHD and how I got into it. So the whole thing started for me when my son was diagnosed with ADHD. I have a 10-year-old boy, and he was diagnosed about a year ago. And I didn't know anything about ADHD at that time. So I started looking into it. I started reading up on it. I'm very data-driven. I've been in marketing for 20 plus years, launching products globally, and it's all about data. And so I started reading up on ADHD, what it is, what are the symptoms, how do you treat it, and it was quite an education. And so I'll take you through some of the things that I found out. So one thing is ADHD is increasingly prevalent. 1 in 5 high school boys are diagnosed with ADHD in the United States today. There are about 130 million children worldwide who are diagnosed with ADHD. And about 150 million adults. And this is growing rapidly because a lot of the US has done a pretty good job about diagnosing ADHD in children. They're now moving into adults. and they're starting to diagnose adults better than it ever has been before. But most countries in Europe and Asia are just now starting to do more rigorous diagnosis of ADHD. And so there's a huge untapped market that's still to be developed in all those countries. All in all, in the US right now, the healthcare costs of ADHD, when you count everything that parents do or to care for ADHD, is about $53 billion. And it's one of the fastest growing categories in the therapeutic markets in the world. So you can see a lot of pharma companies are introducing new ADHD drugs every day. This is the reason why, because these are the numbers they're looking at. So the first thing people often do when they find out that their child has ADHD is they go to the doctor and the doctor says, put them on meds, even though the CDC says that it should start with cognitive therapy with meds as necessary, but that's not usually how it works. And medication is great. I have nothing against meds. They have their place, and for some children, that's the only thing that'll work. But it has side effects, and pretty serious ones sometimes, like loss of appetite, sleeplessness. A lot of kids with ADHD end up taking melatonin at night to help them sleep for years, at like 10 times the dosages that you might take when you're trying to readjust your clock when you came back from a flight. Anxiety, depression, aggression, potentially pretty serious side effects. And then medication, even the extended release ones, often wear off after several hours. And then the child's struggling to do homework. So it's not totally dialed in. It's not a perfect answer. And there's a research I saw recently that said that the medication effects wear off after a few years. So then I looked at supplements. Supplements are not perfect either. So there's a ton of supplements out there, but very few of them are based on real science. Most of them, it's not easy to know if they're US made, if the ingredients are good quality. And I think we've all read the articles about supplements being of dubious quality and the active ingredients not actually being in them. So there's all kinds of potential issues with them. No science-backed dosage information. And a lot of them are capsules, are hard to take for if you want to try and give the kids all the ones that can work for ADHD. So there's not a lot of really great options out there. So then we decided, okay, I'll go back. And so I started reading a lot about science and clinical studies. And I actually spent a lot of time on the NIH website looking at clinical studies, trying to find hard data of supplements that actually work. And I was able to find 12 natural ingredients that have been shown in 20 plus clinical studies, independent clinical studies with statistically significant data to significantly reduce the symptoms of ADHD, but without any of the serious side effects of prescription medication. And that's how FreshMynd was born. So we created the supplement called True Clarity. It's a breakthrough new natural supplement to safely and naturally treat the symptoms of ADHD, so you can avoid or reduce the use of prescription medication. Based on the severity of your symptoms, you might be able to avoid medication entirely, or you can take this in addition to your medication to create a more even effect throughout the day and to potentially help you reduce the amount of medication that you're taking. So I'm going to spend some time on this slide because this basically summarizes all of our differences. So the 12 ingredients that I mentioned before, our supplement has all 12 of those ingredients, and we're the only supplement on the market, or that's going to be on the market, that has all 12 of these ingredients that were shown in clinical studies to significantly reduce the symptoms of ADHD. But not only that, we are the only supplement that not only has all 12 of these ingredients, but they're also there at the dosages that were tested in these clinical studies. And again, we're the only supplement that has that. But we knew that the challenge is not just putting these 12 ingredients in one supplement, but making it easy and tasty for the children to take. And so we found this awesome manufacturing facility in California. They're GMP certified, they're NSF approved, they're organic, non-GMO, and they give you full traceability of every ingredient, and they allow third-party testing to verify the active ingredients are there in the dosages they're required to be at. And we worked with them, and we took these 12 ingredients and we made them into 4 chewable tablets and a spoonful of omegas, and we put them in 3 flavors that were recommended by a pediatrician, the orange, blueberry, and green apple. So this is easy and tasty, it's shelf stable, and it's, it changes the game in terms of giving the kids everything they need in something that they will not fight their parents on every day to take. As I mentioned, we have a great facility that I chose something in California so I can actually go visit it and see it for myself. The other thing that's different for us is we really wanted it to be a community effort. So we have a panel of children and parent advisors to help test the product, taste the product, try it out in real life, and give us feedback so that we know that this is really something that will help the kids and will be easy and tasty for them to take. Okay, so let's talk about the market. As I mentioned before, it's a big market and a very fast-growing market. It's 14 billion in 2014. It's estimated to go up to 25 billion in terms of the market size for pharmaceutical for care of ADHD, 6.2 compound annual growth rate. Of the 279 worldwide children and adults with ADHD currently, the 17.2 that are in the US, our initial target market is we're going after 100% of the kids and 5% of the adults, which is the 10.6 million that you see in the orange ball. And by year 4, we want to capture just 3% of that target. So that would be, I can't do the math, but 3 million. So very, very conservative numbers. But as you'll see, it actually creates very good revenue for us because we have very good margins as well. But huge TAM, huge opportunity here to drive not just our product, but all of our future pipeline of products as well. In terms of projected revenue, so as I mentioned, the orange line is our estimated market share. In terms of revenue, we estimate that we will be able to break even in 2018. And then by year 4, we're looking at about a $205 million revenue. And again, at a very conservative market share growth rate. Okay, so reasons to invest in us. One is our business model. We're focused on developing a very robust recurring revenue stream by encouraging users to sign up for subscriptions. This is not something that you can take just once. You have to keep taking it for continued benefit, and parents are highly incentivized to keep giving it to their children, especially if they see that it has a benefit and it helps. We have very deep retail experience. I've been working in retail and consumer packaged goods for over 20 years. I've worked at Kraft Foods and Clorox. I've done global product launches for Roku, for Western Digital, for Evernote. Sorry, Roku was not global, it was US only. But I have deep retail experience. I've worked with Amazon, Target, Walmart, all the major retailers. So we know how to launch a product, and we know how to deal with the buyers in all the major retailers. Third reason to invest is obviously we have very good margins on this. Even with an affordable monthly subscription price of under $75 plus free shipping, we hit a minimum of 50% gross profit margin. If you don't do the subscription, the price is a little bit higher and our margins look even healthier, but all in all, it's very healthy margins, even with the fairly deep discount. Go-to-market strategy, it's threefold. We're going to start with B2C e-commerce because that's the easiest and fastest for us to get out there. So FreshMynd website, major retailer e-commerce like Amazon, specialty e-commerce, like the vitamin supplements and the healthcare supplement online markets. And then from there, start to put together the deals to be in the brick and mortar stores like the Walmarts and the Targets and the Whole Foods and specialty grocery stores as well. And then the third step is the B2B2C distribution. That's employer programs, affiliate networks, provider referrals, and the B2B market, which we think can be very, very strong. I won't go through all the things in blue. That's all the standard marketing activities that you do, but you can see there's quite a few things we can do. The ask, we're looking for an investment of $500,000 right now. Since we have the formulation ready to go, we have a manufacturer identified. Really, we should be able to hit the ground running. As soon as we have funding, we can get the product in market within 3 to 4 months, and then it's all about just aggressively ramping up distribution and marketing. So optimizing the supplement formulation. We have a great advisor working for us who is the lead scientist at one of the biggest food companies in the world. And she's ready to work with the manufacturer to optimize the mouthfeel and the delivery mechanism, complete the manufacturing, create the distribution, the e-commerce distribution, and then launch the product. So we feel really good we can get that done within 3 to 4 months as soon as we have funding. And because of the margins and because of the TAM, we expect to break even in 2018. So let's talk about our team. Co-founders, there's 2 of us. There's myself. So like I said, 20 years experience in marketing, user acquisition, and product launches at some pretty big companies. My co-founder is Devesh Sharma. He has 30 plus years of experience in operations, finance, strategy, and M&A. Also very, very big companies like Carrier, Allied Signal, Bosch, Alstom, and CMC. So his whole background is finance and operations and strategy. So very, very complementary skill sets. And our extended team, Sujata is our VP of operations. She managed operations at Mervyn's and BB, so she has very strong retail experience and inventory management, forecasting, and planning. So she's the 3rd leg of our stool in terms of our employees. And then we have a great roster of advisors. I won't go through each one of them, but we have, we have a pharmacist who did a doctor of pharmacy from UCSF. We have an attorney who works with startups and international and private equity firms. And then we have a food scientist. And then we have a media person as well, who's incredibly well connected. All right, so to recap, breakthrough natural solution for ADHD to avoid or reduce the use of prescription medication. The only supplement out there to include 12 ingredients shown in 20 plus independent clinical studies to significantly reduce the symptoms of ADHD at the correct dosages. A $14 billion market, one of the fastest growing pharma categories in the world. Huge prevalence, huge TAM. Developed by a mom, working with other moms and kids, building this community of parents, and good strong margins and good revenue opportunities, so targeting to break even in year 1. So please go to republic.co/freshmind to invest in us. And if you have any questions, you can also ask them there, and you can read more about the product at that same URL. Common FAQs.
Yes, hi, Seema. Just given the time, let's pick one of the common questions and respond.
Okay, I'll start with the first one. Do I give this to my child instead of or in addition to prescription ADHD medication? So we actually have verified all of the ingredients. Our pharmacist has looked at all the ingredients and against all of the ADHD medication that is currently available in the market. So there are no contraindications, so you can take our supplement in addition to the prescription ADHD medication. Though that being said, you should always check with your doctor and make sure that given your individual health history that it is safe, because you just never know. But it should be for most, unless you have a specific medical condition, it should be safe to take it in addition to the prescription ADHD med. Or depending again on the severity of your symptoms, you can take it instead of, and it will, so I know children who are taking it instead of, and it's working really well for them. So again, it's kind of where you're at.
Wonderful. But thank you so much for such a comprehensive presentation. We really appreciate your time. And with that, we'll say goodbye to FreshMynd.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Our next presenter is Oliver Thornton from Coding Autism. Give me a second, Oliver.
How's it going?
All right. We are doing really well. How are you doing?
Good, can't complain.
Super. Well, are you ready to share your presentation with the attendees?
Yes, I am.
Wonderful, thank you.
Awesome. How's everyone doing? My name is Oliver Thornton. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Autism. Coding Autism is a for-profit social enterprise that is widening the STEM funnel with autistic talent. Coding Autism inspires the next generation of neurodiverse STEM leaders by helping identify, develop, and support STEM learning at a young age and keep students engaged through high school and into vocational programs or universities. For neurodiverse adults, we are providing integrated technical and social skills training that reduce the overall unemployment and underemployment rates by finding them meaningful STEM employment and assisting organizations who are looking for untapped talent to fill their computer science related roles. The intent behind Coding Autism is to challenge the stigma by helping people with disabilities achieve skills that lead to independence, meaningful work, meaningful relationships, and be of value to their community. The vision behind Coding Autism is to change the narrative around people with disabilities through community, partnerships, and education. When designing the business model for Coding Autism, we analyzed two problems that stood out to us. The first problem was the autism unemployment and underemployment that consisted in our society. In fact, 80% of all autistic adults are either unemployed or underemployed despite their academic credentials, intellectual capabilities, and skill sets. As an autistic adult myself, I found that statistic to be completely unacceptable and egregious and wanted to do something about it. Additionally, there are roughly 500,000 autistic teenagers aging into adulthood in the next 10 years, and roughly 1 out of 68 children born in the United States are born with the variation of autism each year. The second problem that we identified was the STEM funnel issue. By 2020, there's roughly 1.4 million projected technology jobs that will be available in the United States. However, only 400,000 of those computer science graduates within that year, as well as the technology professionals in the United States, will be applying for those jobs. Therefore, there'll be roughly a 1 million job vacancy deficit in the United States for technology jobs in 2020. With Coding Autism, we're providing a solution which is a suite of services for autistic teens and adults, all centered around building vocational skills, social and communication skills, and overall independence. Our offerings in the early stages of our company are our in-person coding and social skills certificate program for adults, our online coding and social skills program geared towards beginners, our STEMS robotic workshops, and our one-on-one social skills and career coaching services. Our in-person coding and social skills certificate program for adults is our primary offering. This offering is a 20-week full-time course where students will be learning the fundamental skills necessary to secure an entry-level web developer job. Our program covers both front-end and back-end skills and fully integrates them with social and career skills training. By the end of the course, students will walk away with a portfolio of full-stack web applications which they can use when applying for their first developer jobs. Our second offering is our online coding and social skills program for beginners. This program will allow students to learn the fundamentals of coding from anywhere in the world. Presentation and communication skills sold in packages of 8 one-hour sessions, these programs open up the STEM funnel for kids, teens, and young adults. With a strong fundamental base, students will be encouraged to pursue STEM-related studies and professions. The themes of these programs would vary throughout the year. Our next offering is our STEM robotics workshop. To help widen the STEM funnel, Coding Autism recognizes that we must identify, develop, and support autistic STEM talent starting at a much younger age. We are identifying and recruiting autistic talent starting in middle school and engaging that talent through our coding program and soon through our STEMS robotic program. The more we can teach kids how to apply science, technology, engineering, and mathematics to the real world, the more successful they will be in the future, innovation and creativity becoming a foundation. Our goal is to acquire now robots which have been clinically used at universities across the US with autistic students successfully. Now successfully bridges the communication for autistic kids and engagement levels have increased immensely. Students will have the ability to code and interact with the Now robot. Lastly, our one-on-one social skills and career coaches services would provide individualized one-on-one career and social skills coaching for autistics of all ages. Because these services are individualized, rates and structure may vary based on the needs of the individual. We also provide tutoring and individual learning services in coding and STEM. The market opportunity for coding academies is increasing significantly. In fact, last year, the coding bootcamp market size is roughly 200 million, with roughly 18,000 coding bootcamp graduates. As of last year, there was an identified 18,000 plus autistics searching for vocational roles and programs to enroll into that year. Autistics are also an untapped talent market. The positive autism characteristics such as meticulous attention to detail, affinity for repetitious tasks, high levels of optimism, hyperfocus, and visual and systemic thinking all align exceptionally with the technology and software professional. In fact, the error rate of the average autistic programmer is roughly 3%, where to neurotypical coders, it can be up to 30% for an error rate. Here's how our revenue stream works. For our in-person full stack coding and social skills program, we would be charging $20,000 per student. This price point is similar to the other coding academies out there, such as General Assembly, Hack Reactor, and Coding Dojo, where we would also provide financing options to subsidize the cost. And we are also partnering with organizations such as the Department of Rehab, regional centers in the local area, and obtaining government funding to be able to subsidize that in the form of scholarships for our enrolled students. For that program, we would have no more than 15 students per cohort, which would generate a revenue of $300,000 per cohort. We're anticipating that year one we'll have 4 cohorts operating, which would generate a 1.2 million gross annual income. Year 2, we would have 8 cohorts that year at a 2.4 million gross annual income. And year 3, 14 cohorts with a 4.2 million gross annual income. Our online coding and social skills programs for beginners, we would charge $350 per student and have no more than 10 to 12 students per course. This would generate roughly $5,220 to $7,000 per course. Year 1, we anticipate to have 8 cohorts a month at $504,000 gross annual income. Year 2, 12 cohorts a month at $756K gross annual income. And year 3, 20 cohorts a month at $1.26 million gross annual income. For the robotics lab, we would set this up as a monthly subscription. For students enrolled, they would be able to participate once a week for $200 a month, twice a week for $375 a month, 3 times a week for $525 a month. And for the revenue, it'd be year 1, we'd anticipate 30 plus students per month at a $72,000 gross annual income. Year 2, 50 plus students a month at a $120,000 gross annual income. And year 3, with 75 plus students a month at $178,000 gross annual income. Lastly, for the one-on-one social skills and career coaching services, we anticipate that it would cost roughly $10,000 a year of support per student. If we had 60 clients, year 1, we'd make $600,000 gross annual income. Year 2, 80 plus clients at $800,000, and year 3, 120 clients, we'd have $1.2 million. In terms of our competitors, our 3 identified competitors that we showcased are Specialistern, which is an autism organization that helps with job placement and company partnerships and onboarding, General Assembly, which is the leading coding boot camp in the marketplace, and Coding Dojo, which is a hyper-local coding academy in the Los Angeles area doing very well. If you're looking at the categories of smaller class sizes, autism specialized learning, job placement, and lifelong coaching relationship and support, you would see that Coding Autism has all of those characteristics, whereas Specialistern, General Assembly, and Coding Dojo either have those characteristics, partially have those characteristics, or simply don't have them at all. In terms of our competitive advantage, since our company is so specialized in the autism community, we predict that many competitors in our marketplace won't be able to develop the programs with that autism specificity and would rather focus on the neurotypical market, thus alleviating the entry barrier. This also makes us a prime acquisition target for companies looking to expand into the autism education space in the future. In terms of traction, since the inception of the company, we've had over 150 applicants on our wait list for our primary in-person vocational certificate program. We've also had successful crowdfunding campaigns on Start Some Good, a rewards-based crowdfunding platform. We raised just under $53,000 from 221 different contributors. We also raised just about $46,000 from 6 different investors in a private convertible note raise at a $2.5 million valuation. Our company's also been featured in major publications such as Mashable, Yahoo, The Mighty, the Daily Californian Autism Speaks. And in the technology industry, companies such as Microsoft, SAP, HP, and others have developed autism hiring initiatives and have significantly recruited talent on the autism spectrum because of the positive characteristics that I previously mentioned in this presentation. In terms of the management team, I'm the CEO and co-founder of Coding Autism. I am an autistic adult myself. I graduated from Cal Lutheran University in Thousand Oaks. My skill set prioritizes in marketing, sales, and fundraising. I'm also a residential real estate agent at Compass, which is one of the fastest growing companies in the United States right now. And I'm a passionate disability advocate. My co-founder and COO, Austin Weinhardt, he's a Cal Berkeley alumni, originally majored in media studies and worked in PR, wasn't passionate about it, and ended up enrolling into General Assembly's web development immersive 3 years ago, where he absolutely loved coding, went through the entire program, and has worked as a software engineer since. He also works part-time as a Thinkful facilitator, which is an online coding academy. Andrea Chasko, she's our Chief Innovation Officer. She's also a Cal Berkeley alumni, is neurodiverse, has 10 plus years in tech, 17 plus years in disability and education, is a CTI coach and a Forbes Coach Council, and is a diversity inclusion advocate on our third startup. Our advisor team is very robust, coming from legal counsel, academic advisors in the autism space, entrepreneurship, executive coaching, and curriculum and technology device. Our exit strategy, we would operate as a standalone business until we become a prime acquisition target from another company. If the opportunity for acquisition makes sense, Coding Autism would be acquired by a company such as WeWork, which is a co-working space entering into the education space, Specialist Room, which is a notable autism employment organization, or a larger coding academy such as General Assembly, who wants to capture an autism market for their training. Investors would be paid out based on the company purchase price and the deal terms of that acquisition. Our current raise on Republic, we've raised $14,000 of our 25,000 person goal from 56 different investors. That number was taken from December 10th. Our valuation for this raise is at $2.6 million, and you can find all the information in our deal terms and on the page at the Republic link showcased here on the slide. Reasons to invest into Coding Autism. It's an excellent impact investment. Impact investing has been a huge trend over the last few years, where investors have been investing into for-profit social enterprises where they can expect a return on investment, but also make good for the community. Second reason to invest is that this is a very nascent market. Only since about 2012 or 2013 has technology companies really started to emphasize the importance of hiring autistic talent for their roles because of the positive characteristics associated with hiring autistic talent, which makes this a marketplace that is slowly starting to emerge, and Coding Autism being a first mover, it has the opportunity to be a very explosive and growth investment. Third reason, you're improving the autism community with that 80% unemployment and underemployment rate. Your investment helps build a company that's going to work tirelessly to slash that rate down to something that's not as alarming. And the last reason to invest in Coding Autism is you're helping widen the STEM funnel with qualified talent. With all the technology innovations of our day, such as the cryptocurrency space, automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, we need to be creating employees that can fulfill these roles so we can continue our innovative trends in the technology fields. By investing into Coding Autism, you're creating a company that trains talent to someday become those biggest STEM influencers in our society. Frequently asked questions. I'm not sure how much time I have.
Hi, Oliver. It's Sandra from Republic. You have maybe time for one question. And I see additional questions coming through. So anyone who had questions, please address them on Coding Autism deal page. But
we'll answer all your questions today if you have any that you want to ask us. The question I'll go over right now is, how do students apply, and are the students vetted? Students will apply by filling out an application on our website. We will review the applications and reach out to students that we think would be a great fit. From there, we will conduct interviews either in person or through video conferencing. With our web development immersive, we'll be vetting students based on our assessment that they can keep up with the rigorous coursework and be employable with the proper training. Autism is a spectrum, and some students have an easier time acclimating to neurotypical workspaces than others. This does not mean that we have forgotten nonverbal or other students with greater barriers. as we expand, we will be providing other programs that will allow these types of learners an opportunity to acquire new skills, socialize, and demonstrate their talents. For the purpose we are fundraising for now, we are limiting our scope to the students that we think we can best equip to find employment after graduation.
Wonderful. This is
great. Well, yeah, if you guys want to make an investment, the link is right there. Our Coding Autism website link is there as well. Again, my name is Oliver Thornton, and thank you guys so much for listening to us. It's truly an incredible opportunity, and look forward to having further discussions with anyone who wants to invest. Thanks.
Thank you. And lastly, Janet, who is going to be joining to tell more about SilkRoll. Hold on 1 second, Janet. All right, take it away.
All right. Oh, wait. All right, do you see my screen now?
We can see your presentation, thank you.
Perfect. Hello, everybody. I am Janet Wu, the co-founder and CEO of SilkRoll. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for all staying till the very end to hear and learn about our company. So first of all, we all know, right, that women spend way too much money on clothes, and yet we don't stop shopping. So SilkRoll solves this problem. I'm going to begin with a case study of Jessica's wardrobe. Let's imagine Jessica is a high-earning professional, and she spends on average $1,000 per outfit. Over the span of her career, she would have accumulated, right, at about $100,000 worth of fashion in her closet. Now, if she wants to get rid of them or purge on them, her options are actually limited. So she can donate them to a donation center, she can pass it to friends and family, or she can resell them. And now the way that the current market works is that she will get 10 cents on the dollar back, i.e. she will get less than $10,000 for her initial $100,000 wardrobe, and that does not make sense. Hence, she does not really use 80% of her wardrobe. And this problem, just to give everybody in context, started with myself. I lived in Hong Kong. I worked as an investment banker for over 10 years. When I came out here to San Francisco 3.5 years ago, my wardrobe had to change. 90% of my closet became obsolete, and I wanted to find a solution to this very common phenomenon that all women experience, is how to purge and retain the value of our closets. So further to research and statistics, we now know that in the United States of America alone, there are $900 billion worth of women's fashion that are actually just sitting in closets collecting dust. And this, in reality, the secondhand market is only 4% of that 900 billion. It is growing, and however, the rest 96% are still untapped. And this is where we come in. Our services and solution unlocks the behavior of these 96% of the women to allow them to start exchanging and trading the unworn fashion. So how does our product work? So as a user, say Jessica, she sends in the fashion that she no longer uses from her closets and earns points that reflect the original retail value of these products. SilkRoll processes and lists them online in her virtual closet. Zoe sees the products that she likes, and she can purchase it with the points in her account. And both users will get a notification that there has been an exchange of something in their closet. So our product is using a dynamic pricing algorithm, and that's really due to my background in investment banking, and I spent 10 years on the trading floor, understand really the mechanisms of exchange. Our products are priced at a high. With the data we collect, we can understand the high value, high demand products versus the low demand products, and we are confident that the data we're collecting with our database will, in the medium to long term, prove extremely invaluable for retailers and other participants of the industry. At the same time, it provides our users an experience that the more valuable or high demand products they trade in, the more points that they're earning. Based on our user feedback from since we've launched, the service essentially provides an exchange and a solution for women to refresh their wardrobe while not spending any money. And that is that's a guilt-free shopping experience. And that's why our business and our services are very sticky in nature. And the way we make money now with our business model is that we have 3 revenue channels that we've just launched. One is that for all users of our services, they pay a 5% cash fee on the points they redeem. And secondly, for the frequent users, they pay $29 a month and waive all of the fees. The third option is for those who don't have enough points in their account to shop for the things they want, they can purchase points. And this behaves, as you can see, very similar to how you would spend frequent flyer miles. And the membership system, much like Amazon Prime, has given us, we've seen 6 times more engagement on our site by our users versus regular e-commerce sites. So talking about engagement, due to the stickiness of the business model, we have transacted over $1 million worth of products through the site already. And our SilkRoll members are actually transacting on average once per week. This is extremely high versus a traditional retail, which averages 3 to 6 months for the users to come back and make another transaction. So since the launch of our new website in July, we have now expanded into new markets due to the ease of use. All of our customers can send in their products from anywhere in the United States, and you can see now today we have customers in all of these states that are colored in purple. So what does the landscape look like? Yes, there are other participants in the secondhand resale consignment market. And interestingly, all of these competitors you see on the slide are actually making revenue in excess of $100 million a year. That shows you the demand for this service and a huge opportunity that's out there. What really differentiates SilkRoll is that we're the first membership-based exchange using a digital currency. Now, coming back to what I was referring to earlier, this particular way of executing this business allows for extremely a loyal pool of customers, and as well as the stickiness of the service, and a much healthier engagement and flow, because ultimately you are using a service but not really wasting money on acquiring fashion. And that really makes us very unique. So execution at the end of the day is really what's going to win the game, and we have the perfect team of experts to execute this vision. I talked about myself earlier. My co-founder, Erin Wold, she spent 5 years scaling a service logistics startup called RedCab, where she was the chief people's officer. So she is an expert in operations and managing scaling. And our team combined have years of experience from eBay, RedCap, Adobe, and we're very proud to also have Daniel Farrar as a member of on the advisor team. He is the CEO of Switchfly, which is the world's largest software that powers the points and reward system for all airlines and major credit cards around the world. That experience gives us a lot of, he provides a lot of expertise on how we can continue to manage the points and reward system on our platform. So we are, as part of this equity seed round, we are raising max $535K to execute our growth plan. Majority of the proceeds will go to user and inventory acquisition, and the rest will go towards product development and operations. And as you can see, we've launched our site in July 2017, and we're now in the stage of scaling the revenue. With the scaling of users and data intelligence, we can build into the next steps of the algorithm and the matching we plan to do for the service as well. So that concludes my presentation. We launched on Republic last week, and we have raised over $68,000 already on our page. I welcome you to visit, and also I will now happy to take any questions here or via our campaign page. Thank you.
Janet, thank you so much for your presentation. Very enlightening. Since you have been on the site, you have close to 100 investors already in a really quick speed. Can you speak about some of the questions that they have asked you about the business?
Sure. So one of the questions that we get a lot is that, do we have any plans to expand our product category? And the answer is yes, absolutely. We've in fact have many reverse inquiries, as many as women inquiries actually from guys who are asking about men's products, and we do see a very big market for over there. So we are planning to expand into the men's line, and again, children's and sportswear are also huge markets potentially for us.
Great, excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And given the time, this will conclude your section of the presentation. So thank you for making time and preparing for it.
Thank you. And I welcome you to visit.
I would love to. I love the closet behind you. All right. All right, so this presentation of SilkRoll concludes our digital demo day. Thank you everyone for joining in and listening to the founders, CEOs of these companies who are currently raising on Republic. Once again, if you're interested in learning more, please come to the Republic site and check out their respective deal pages. With that, thank you so much for your interest and happy holidays.